He'll be in the black singlet, and his opponent will be Tom Gerszewski. Tom from Crystal Lake South, a senior with a record of 18-0.
This match is going to be brought to you by EasyWhistle.com. Follow the link on IllinoisMatMen.com. It's a sanitary alternative to the mouth whistle. Hold it in your hand, push a button, and replace that dirty old mouth whistle.
Again, he got in on a nice shot. Murphy countered it. He's trying to keep hold of the ankle and pops out. Murphy just a nice job of scrambling to avoid the points.
Murphy won this tournament last year. You know, he's a two-time All-Stater. He knows what it takes to win. And that ankle pick was just beautiful.
We'll go back to the center, 1:28 left. Again, we're 0-0 first period.
I'm looking at that shoulder harness he's got on there. Bought one of those for $75, custom fit, and I remember the doctor telling me shoulders and knees aren't meant to wrestle.
No, exactly.
But he didn't have an alternative for the full scholarship either. You got to pay the price sometimes to wrestle. What I noticed I heard that does is it keeps everything tight. It doesn't take the injury away, but it keeps everything in its place.
Again, Terry Giardini be the head referee for this match. Jack Wiesnath is his assistant.
A lot of talk about 145-52 as far as where a lot of these guys are going to end up this year come state time. Got a lot of major players at those weight classes.
Yeah.
Well, there's just a bull rush at him. Again, notice how he just did things hard. Wasn't the prettiest technique in the world, but he got the boy from Crystal Lake out of position, just drove at him, and they ended up out of bounds.
I don't know any Glenbard North wrestlers that don't wrestle hard, from Caitlin Chase on, or no, Gomez on back. I mean, that's just what they do. They're like the Iowa of Illinois. They're coming at you, straight.
That's their style. That's the thing that they try and do. They wrestle that Iowa style as far as things go.
I was looking at Tony Ramos. You know, he's got that black singlet on. It's like he still has on the Glenbard North singlet.
Still wrestles the same way.
You know. He's taking good shots here. He's not cashing them. Oh, he's about to get one now.
Yep, going to get the two there at the edge.
And that's the thing about that style of wrestling. If you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you're going to score. You're going to break that guy down. I mean, you get tired of a guy doing the same thing over and over to you, and you're going to slip up.
And put you a little bit out of your comfort zone. So Murphy will lead 2-0 going in here in the second period.
He's got the boots
he's going to get the backs even to end the period. Again, spoke too soon. 7 seconds left, and he didn't just ride him out. He went after it to try and get the points, and did through the leg and put in a nice power half.
Yeah, he's going to go down. Murphy's going to go down.
Yep, he'll take a 4-0 lead into the second period. Now, we're going to be joined here for the next few minutes. Dan Fulcher, head referee here, stopped by in order to talk to us a little bit as far as things. And I told him he had to, once he sat down, we'd make him commentate a little, Andre, so we'll see how he does with stuff.
And everybody in the state knows Dan. You know, I mean, he gets the most applause at the state finals. Every year, that's his, you know, that's his mantle. And Dan, that's because you're willing to make the tough calls.
Yes, sir.
You're willing to step into that spotlight and do what's got to be done.
Owe it to the kids, owe it to the sport. You know, we're not out there to make friends or be favorable. Just do the right thing.
Well, we'll get started, Dan, with my favorite topic as far as things go. What do we need to do to get referees involved? First of all, what's the process for someone who's interested in refereeing? What do they do in order to get their license, membership, or whatever it'll take?
I really recommend them to get a hold of already a state wrestling official, somebody that can mentor them. They'll go out and shadow them the first, and then have them go through how to get an assigner, how to get the hold of coaches, how to get a hold of schools in order to get work. Because it's one thing to get where you can get licensed, and another thing to do matches and things that you will get reward for and not get beat up on while you're making those calls.
Maybe just show up to some schools' practice and ask if you can referee some inter-squad matches during practice to get yourself started.
Absolutely. I even recommend that they would contact a coach or somebody that would allow them to go ahead and say, hey, come on in and work with them.
Okay, what's the toughest thing for a young official as far as being able to get going and doing some things? What's the bad thing about it? In other words, I hear people say, I don't want to go listen to coaches yell at me. They think that's the negative and stuff.
Kevin, I tell you, you just nailed it. Put cotton in your ears. Forget about, you got to have tough skin and go into your own little world while you're out there. Also, listen to coaches. Listen and talk to wrestlers. You think the moves that, at my age, is my 38th year. Do you think I'm not going to clinics and listening to coaches about the new calls and new moves and the way that the kids are wrestling today? Oh my gosh! If you don't stay new, you're gone in a very short period of time.
Murphy will lead 7-0 here with about 15 seconds left in the second period, and he's just done a real nice job of controlling this match. Dan, going back to what you talked about a second ago, I see you at the IKWF tournaments, refereeing 5 and 6 years old. I see you at meets like this in the state tournament where you're seeing some of the top kids in the country. How difficult is it for you to adjust to the different levels, or do you treat them all the same way as far as the way you call things?
Well, just now becoming a grandpa, I'm going to tell you right now, when those little 4 or 5 year olds want to sit on your leg or your knee and listen, it is different. It is different. At that age, you have to be more personal. At this age, you have to be more distant. You have to be more distant to the crowd. Put a deaf ear to things. Be approachable by the coaches, and then work with the wrestlers. These guys out there know when you're talking, no control. Somebody's got to work. Don't look at me funny if I'm going to hit you for stalling. Those things you can talk kids into wrestling without penalizing them.
So you basically have to go through and be able to adjust your refereeing style depending upon the level of kids that you're with.
You absolutely do, because if you don't do that, then young kid, you're going to do the same thing to young wrestlers. They're not going to want to be a part of this if you're cautioning them at a kids tournament 15 times for a false start.
All right, we're going to go through us. Eventually, you're going to get too old and aren't going to be able to referee anymore. So we're going to get you going here and let you try and announce this. I'll lead you into it. Murphy's got a 9-1 lead here with a minute left in the third period. Go ahead, see what you can do for us, Dan.
And what's the other young man's name?
I'm going to struggle to pronounce that. Tom Gerszewski from Crystal Lake South. He's in the yellow singlet out there.
Murphy out of bounds. I'll bet he's not going to get. Very good. As the guy went out of bounds, the reason why he didn't get that takedown is he didn't go hip to hip. He did dive it. Now, if he went the ankles, he would have got the takedown. And Murphy having a rush and worked against him, and you can see who's going to be going forward, who's going back, who's playing the line is the big thing on your feet nowadays. We realize that you shoot, I cross face, I sprawl, go behind like that is a lot easier.
Just some quickness there, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, that was athleticism there. And there's a different things that are going on when the score's 12-1.
Yes.
So the officiating changes. Now,
yes.
now, Dan, let me take you back to what you were talking about dealing with coaches and, in addition, the crowd. Although I don't do wrestling.
16 seconds left in the match.
I appreciate football, baseball, and I used to do basketball. And every crowd is different, yet they're similar. I found that early in my career, it was hard to ignore the crowd. It was hard to ignore the coach when he was saying something because I was younger and I was less tolerant. As I got older and as I gained more respect.
Into the match, and Murphy wins this 12-1.
12-1, so he's a two-time champ of this, and again, he's had a great career. Go ahead, Andre.
I was saying, as you get older in your career, you gain more respect from the coaches. And the key thing that I found out with that was the coaches want to know that I know the game.